Towers of Boom, everybody! Divine Vendetta against Wind and Rain. And yep, we are obviously looking at a Division S here. And with that, we have our best of 5 in our hands here today. This is the second play day. Both of these teams haven't played yet. Everybody else already has. And we also have the new patch, so we have the Lucio rework. He might be a real hero now. I'm a real boy! And we also have a Chromie rework. Pretty much an insane level 20 talent coming in there towards the end. How much of an impact those two heroes are going to have in the competitive scene, that's still something that we have to find out, and we might find out a little bit today here. First of all, we're having Abathur banned out, and so is Zeratul. Now personally, if I would have to say who's the favorite here heading into this, I would give Wind and Rain a bit of an upper hand. By the way, if you're not familiar with those two team names, Divine Vendetta is the meme machine. So they got picked up by a team, and Wind and Rain is the former Team Cheese. So pretty much the same situation for them as well. So just in case that the two team names weren't familiar with you. But yeah, let's check out what we're having happen here. Ooh, no MEDIVH ban. Genji instead. Okay, okay. Are we gonna see MEDIVH still banned out? Are we gonna see some kind of some more shenanigans for it maybe today? Or how? Yeah, they're already hesitating here a little bit. Again, normally you see some distinct patterns happen, but yep, there she is. MEDIVH gets banned out, which also means that Tracer is open, by the way. So Maka, in theory, is gonna have access to his Tracer if he wants it. They're starting things off with a HANZO pick. Anything else for Maka that we really need to consider here? I mean, he played a lot with Mephisto lately, but that didn't quite work out the way that they wanted to. So, let's see. Divine Vendetta has the first setup. Again, big map, could go into the globals, could play that around. No frontliner, by the way. Oh my god. Maka probably on a bit of a baby rage right now. Malfurion and Tracer get picked in the first rotation for the Divine Vendetta, so Maka doesn't get his hero. Once again, he's just sitting there being a little bit sad and now has to find a way to actually punish Tracer. So that's a decent start. Okay. So with that said, let's find out what Maka is gonna take if he already commits to it. Dehaka and THRALL. Backhult gets his THRALL. Again, normally when we're seeing him on heroes, it's either Johanna, THRALL. He plays a bit of a mean garage too. But now with that together, we have Dehaka for the global. That's already a big one. Connect the drag with Tracer, and you pretty much have a win right there. When it comes to the bans, on the other hand, I mean, you can't really ban out Maka. That usually doesn't really work out too well. So I expect a ban more so on the support. No, Jimmy. Okay, that makes sense too. I mean, you have Hammer and Jimmy who are really good against Tracer because of the auto attack damage. So it makes sense to make the life of Slake a little bit easier by allowing him with Tracer to zip around unmolested by those pesky auto attacks. There's a Dibbles ban on the other side, trying to at least prevent that from happening. But we still need our offlaner, we still need our tank, we need a second damage dealer for Divine Vendetta. Could of course still cheese around here a little bit, so far we haven't seen anything on those lines. Still curious what Maka's gonna play. I'm very interested to see that. Because usually they are the ones that keep Genji open too. I think the idea of banning that out was to get at least access to either MEDIVH or Tracer. Now they were denied both. There's the Anubarak and Urel rotation. So already aggressive with that. And Urel easily moving around between mid and top. Soaking experience. Jumping into the fight with the Anubarak as well. And what's the support gonna be here? I honestly just want to see at some point Lucio to be picked and Chromie to be picked today. That would be nice, because then we see if the two will have a bit of an impact here, yes or no. We can also then take a deeper look at the builds. Ah, Li Ming, completely forgot about her. Yep, there's the Tyrande and Li Ming for Maka. Alright. The reset potential is there. And now, last but not least, pick 4 Towers of Doom on the side of Divine Vendetta. We still need a hero for Smaragd, and obviously at this point you need additional damage. Now in other setups I would say you could go for Junkrat. I mean, you could still do that here, but let's have it. Last pick for Divine Vendetta, it is Junkrat. There we go. Alright, fair enough. Divine Vendetta versus Wind and Rain, best of 5 series. We're heading into our first map, and let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Game number 1, Divine Vendetta, aka the Meme Machine, and Wind and Rain, formerly known as Team Cheese, also known as What Does the Photographer Say? As we're heading into our first game with Death Knight on Anubarak, Martin on Valfurion, Slake on Tracer, Smaragd on Junkrat, and Born on Urel. And to the right side of the map, Wind and Rain, Galniguna on Tyrande, we have Maka on Liming, Skog on Hanzo, Max Passion on Dehaka, and Backhold on Tyrael. Ready to rumble! Already level 1 here, by the way, the Legion of Beetles. Bit of a Liming adjustment that we have there. More beetles, more shield. Pretty much the thought process right there. And yeah, let's see how this is going to work out for especially Divine Vendetta. They're currently the ones that are under more pressure, I'd say. Born has done a pretty decent job on the solo lane. Apparently there's a pause that got be called for, with a little problem that both of them were trying to pause, just resulting in them unpausing each other. But with the talents taken on level 1, we can take a quick look at that. First of all, we're having again the Justice Fall taken here for Tyrael. It was actually really interesting to see in some of the Gold League matches different Tyrael approaches here in the early game. In this case, so pretty much the standard. It seems that Martin is, by the way, currently AFK and not at the PC. I think that seemed to be the problem. Hasn't chosen his talent yet and still hasn't, and was also behind the gate. But it didn't really have any consequence. Both of the teams were just brawling a little bit in the middle, but already starting to rotate away here. Now it's level 1, we have the Rejuvenation. So the additional regeneration from Valfurion himself, and also that setup. And now, let's see how this is gonna work out in terms of Tracer protection. Tracer is really gonna be the big factor here. Interesting, look at that. Max Passion with a max value, getting the drag against Urel, dragging her into tower range and getting the kill here. That was a bit unexpected, but nicely played. Good job. Dehaka delivering. And that's the first kill in the game. I was just talking about the Tracer protection, trying to keep her alive, but they have more problems than only that. Nice, Backhold jumping onto Skog with his Hanzo to make sure that the bomb actually hits him and not Hanzo. That was well done too. And, well, in the middle of the map, we're currently seeing Maka on the run. Maka gets away for now, tries to get a little bit of extra damage in, and does exactly that. I mean, without the Calamity, he won't be able to really get a kill here or anything, but that's still a good move by him, considering he was actually chased by 3. So now we're already having camps taken at the bottom of the map, pretty much what you would used to see normally here on this map early on in the game. After the first mercenary camp spawns, we have the commitment there. You're trying to get that done. A little bit of an invade there too, but Backhold is a little bit too late. Gets the bomb here. And is able to survive quite easily, so though. Wind and Rain, we're trying to cause a little bit of a storm here with the level 4 talent. Force armor coming in for Liming. Level 4 talents, amongst other things, should also give us on the side of the Anubarak. Oh, Bed of Barbs actually, okay. Goes into the extra slow here. Bit of an added protection. So no Carapace build, no play around the well, Subterranean Shield on 7, but on level 4 if you go for that you would go for Underking, so instead Bed of Barbs chosen. Those extra slows in the controlling, so it's pretty interesting adjustment there too. Bomb and Tracer this time actually missing, as Death Knight is also trying to make the approach. Dehaka not taking his talent yet, keeping the suspense up here. But I mean, the important part is we have a double altar available again. That usually means that we have the even exchange at the top. Both of them are not going for anything here, but the big fight itself is currently raging on at the bottom of the map. But the third altar spawns, and this is obviously the one that you really want to get. Take that small lead against the opponent. In the bigger scheme of things, it doesn't necessarily make a huge difference, because normally games are decided in the mid-stage, late stage of the game, where you have some momentum through team wipes or just simply kills taken. But of course, if it comes down to that showdown, then this can really be the deciding factor. So you want to start with that 2-for-1 trade. And well, let's see. Well, Death Knight is already sitting there. Here comes Dehaka, the drag attempt against the noob this time. That didn't work out. Root already on the ground, Slake jumping away. And Death Knight is already on rotation as the final altar gets channeled by the red team, and that gives them another big hit. Max Passion has already caused one death earlier against Urel when he dragged someone into the turret range, so Death Knight has to be careful there, even though he obviously has another escape tool available to himself. Look at them. The two of them. It's like a little bit like Romeo and Juliet, Dehaka and Urel. It's pretty much the same story. The two of them, they come from different families, aka teams, and there's still a bit of a love that they have for each other. It's just affection as they meet each other on their rotation between the mid and the top lane. They're very close to each other, you know, there's a certain relationship that develops over time, and that's exactly what we're seeing between the two here. Death Knight, on the other hand, he is getting attacked quite viciously by that little 3-man down here. Gotta admit that HANZO is already dropping the damage. That, on the other hand, is a bit of a problem for him. He got dropped fairly far out there. Death Knight tries to get the stun out. Well, it doesn't quite work, but good play by Smaragd. Definitely causing a little bit of a friction point here as Skok was about to go down. It was very well done with that little mine. So, good job. Middle of the map, we're now still having... Death Knight has a little bit of a hard-on for HANZO at this point, it feels. Wherever HANZO is, there's a Nubarak somewhere lurking in the shadows. Single altar now on the map, and that's gonna make things spicy. Subterranean shield on level 7, by the way. And also the Calamity. Also, Khaldor's resistance! Alright, against the Tracer Bomb. I mean, you go up against Malfurion and a Nubarak, so I could have totally understood Celestial Attunement, but getting the extra resilience, especially of course for HANZO, it's really important. I mean, HANZO is in that spot. If he gets hit by the bomb, there's a huge amount of his hit points. If you have Khaldor's resistance there, it definitely helps you. But now that we have Dehaka not even at the top lane, already down here at the bottom, they're starting to make the plays. There's the stun, still pushed back. HANZO gets the bomb through. Okay, Tracer looking for the play here. So far, a single kill in the game and a slight lead in experience. Not quite enough just yet. They're starting to jump in once more. But there's the kill. Malf is down. The play for Galnagunan to Randa. That didn't quite work out. Born is now in trouble. And that's the second kill in the fight. Slake himself barely able to get away here. He was very, very low. And obviously there's no Malfurion any longer to heal him. With that, they're trying to make the play for Death Knight. That's unlikely to happen since he gets that back. But there's another 4 shots fired. And that puts the core down to 28%. Wind and rain. Yeah, definitely turning the heat up here a little bit. And start to poke down the bottom in the bottom bell tower, at least attempting to. Every single time I see a Tracer just barely zip away from any of these moves, it just feels like there's a little heart attack involved in that too. But the early level 10 is now, of course, a huge asset for Wind and Rain and might allow them to actually don't do anything. They can't really push in down here. The camp is up in the minute, so they can't invade that either. So that level 10 advantage doesn't yield any additional benefits to them. They have, of course, the map advantage or the dominance on the map for that little frame of time, but they can't do anything with it. There's nothing to take at this point. That's a bit unfortunate, to say the least, at least from their perspective. Here comes the level 10 now for the Divine Vendetta. That brings us the Kuntoon and the Tire. And Malf. Every time a Malf has... Ooh, Urel, look at that. Top lane, Max Passion and Maka going for the kill against Urel, and they actually get it. At the bot lane, on the other hand, there's the kill against HANZO, as this time with the help of Tracer, Nubarak is able to take him down. Death Knight finally gets the kill. Liming being top lane, made this a 4 versus 3 setup, and with the Cocoon it was basically a 4 versus 2. Nicely done. Still no talent on Malfurion, by the way, so he's still teasing, and normally that means that there's a good chance we're going to see a Twilight Dream being dropped. The good old times when you had a lot of heroes not even commit to their level 7 ability because they waited for level 10. Do you remember these times, guys? When we had, well, let's talk about that in a moment. For now, actually, we have Max Passion lurking around that bot lane. And he gets locked down. 4 kills against 1 thus far. Still no talent for... Oh, the drag against Tracer. Nice. And Slay gets lasered. Yep, they knew exactly where he would respawn. And they immediately jump in with Tracer gone. That's a bad spot to be in right now. But maybe. Second kill as well. And once again, that's Integrate. Of course, force into the talent when you're going up against the Nubarak. Want to burn down the Cocoon. Malfurion, there he goes. Goes into the Twilight Dream, has obviously not used it yet. Another 4 shots were just fired. Here comes the arrow. Oh, baby! Oh, 3-man arrow by our boy Skog here. And then they're getting the big damage in against 3. Insta double kill as Li Ming and THRALL both jump in feet first. Nicely done. But yeah, the good old times when we had cleanse on level 7 for pretty much every single hero, and when you played against the THRALL, you never knew if you went into Judgment or if you went into Sanctification. So the big problem that you had back then is that every single support player pretty much had to hold back his level 7 talent because he needed to decide if they wanted to have cleanse. So you oftentimes saw a hero at level 11 or level 12 still not taking his level 7 and level 10 talent because he needed to wait for the opposite side THRALL to make a decision of what they wanted to go for. Actually, interesting times back then. I kind of liked that, to be honest. It was always one of these small little plays, especially newer players never understood what exactly they were doing. But I kind of enjoyed that. I'm a bit sad that that is gone completely. 8 kills against 1 now, and with the bell tower claimed at the bot lane, it of course means that if you take now 1 at the top, you get the 5 shots fired. Game is by no means over, but this is definitely not furthering the course of Divine Vendetta. They're struggling here quite a bit, and especially since at the top lane, as you can see here, that's another bell tower taken. That's actually a disaster, honestly. That's a problem. Losing the bottom, that's one thing. Losing 2, yeah, you're in trouble when that happens. So now we're having the fight even over the top left. So things are starting to get pretty dicey for the Divine Vendetta here. If they lose both of them, that's 12 points off the core. It's half the points that they have right now. I don't think I will spell out to you that you can't really avoid doing that. Here comes the interrupt against Smaragd. The Haka's already channeling the side. That's 7 shots fired. Kiss goodbye. Oh, the arrow. The Haka. Oh my god, the plays. Macke, that little sexy hexy on his Li Ming here. Look at that. The burrow in from Max Passion, but then Macke with the Calamity, and what a beautiful execution. And that's now another set of shots fired. So now they're down 12, and that is brutal. Especially since with 2 heroes down, they're simply barreling through the middle. There's a very good chance that they're going to get this one out too. Absolute amazing first game for Wind and Rain. Playing really well here. At least at the bottom lane we're seeing the bell tower reclaimed, so that stops the barrage from starting. But it's still an atrocious situation for them to be in. Very tough to deal with. Level 16 versus level 13, a 3-level lead. Talent advantage obviously as well. 40,000 damage on HANZO, and Li Ming herself on 31k. They're fighting back at the top, but they're losing the bot lane once again. Yeah, that's the exact same thing again. It's just a trade in bell towers now the entire time. Now, we still have to admit that at least for Divine Vendetta, it's a little bit easier to reclaim them. These guys don't have quite the same push power. Granted, it's a 5 versus 3 push, so that adds up to it too. But it's a great setup here for Wind and Rain. It's back to 5 points on the core. So it's still, of course, the top now taken as well. You're just playing around, you're trading. You're trying to trade as much as you can. There's a triple altar phase coming up, and even if you only hold 4 points, then you would be able to win the game if you catch all 3. Obviously, if you hold 6, then it's a different story. 2 would be enough. So there's going to be a desperate attempt for sure to reclaim this one at the bottom. I'm pretty sure they will be able to do that too. Problem is that they won't be able to reach the top. That's why Nuburak is already headed that way, because he's saying like, well, I might be able to interrupt it for long enough so that you guys can do something. But now the boss is taken. It gets 4 shots fired, and this could still end the game. There's the channel already coming. Tyranda's on the right. That barely gets interrupted. That was an important one. Malfurion isn't there yet. Huge amount of shots fired right there. Puts it down to 3. And all of a sudden, we're looking at a potential end of the game. Malfurion has at least channeled the bottle, but this is the important one. Arrow comes in, and Macke again with the kill. Oh, Macke on Li Ming here, the bad boy with the resets. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be it. Li Ming goes down, at least that, but who's gonna stop Galnagunar from channeling through? The answer is nobody. This is game right here, as we have game number 1 taken by Wind and Rain. They claim the victory on Towers of Doom. GG and well played. Game number 2, Wind and Rain against Divine Vendetta. In the first game, Divine Vendetta, they had a bit of a weather problem. It was a bit windy and a bit rainy, and all of a sudden it turned into a full-on hurricane as they got blown off the map. Divine Vendetta obliterated by the hail that came from the red team as Wind and Rain took the lead in the series. No, Battlefield of Eternity, map number 2. And with that, we have the first pick, first ban for Divine Vendetta. You know what that means? That means that Wind and Rain had map choice. So they wanted to brawl. I can't really blame them after the last one. This map is going to be interesting in the sense that I want to know if at any point in this series, Marke is going to play Tracer. That's pretty much all I want to know here. He's happy on the Li Ming, don't get me wrong. He played a lot of Genji as well. But I want to see if he gets to play his Tracer. And it doesn't really seem like it, because when Divine Vendetta is looking at this, it's like, yeah, kind of know the boy is good on his little sexy hexy Li Ming. But let's face it, Tracer, once the cavalry is there, it might get even worse. So they're not really standing in line here for an ass kicking. They want to make sure that they are somehow turning things around here and taking Wind and Rain down. Zeratul banned, HANZO 2, could be the first pick to Randa, could be an early Nubarak pick. What else are we having on the board right now that would really fit the bill at this point? I mean, with the Nubarak, I'm also going for the fight. With Li Ming or Tyrande, you're already thinking about the Immortal itself, so both of these picks would still be fine. And there she is, Li Ming for Slake this time. Okay, taking it away from Marke. Genji pick probably incoming, or could be incoming. Again, Marke, great on the hero. If you're more so worried about the Immortal race, then Genji might not quite be the hero you want to choose, but considering that it's Marke, I could definitely see him go for it now that his Trace and his Li Ming is already eliminated, so could be an early Genji here, maybe together with Tyrande, or even a Nubarak. Ah, no, nothing of that. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. Gal Nigulnar Milvma Furian. And Bakul on Garrosh. Fair enough. Completely different setup here. Neither Tyrande, nor Nubarak, nor Genji. Which means that in the next ban, we have a chance for Divine Vendetta to ban Genji out if they feel that might be a problem. And to be honest, with Ana and now Li Ming on the side, might be thinking about that. Ana, of course, great again for the nano boost, giving Li Ming a little bit of an upper hand there. But yeah, I mean, Backwood is actually interesting, you know, in Garrosh. As we said before, he's one of the 3 heroes that he plays the most. You see him on Tyrael, you see him on Johanna, you see him on Garrosh. Those are his big ones. I still expect them to go for something else, but I'm happy to see how this is going to work out. Ooh, ban on Arthurs. Does that mean we're going to see the big bad wolf again? As Marke going for the wolf? Or what are we going to have? With ETC, you still need to think about your side lane, obviously. Okay. So let's check that out. Is it the Genji ban? Or are we going to see Greymane banned out? Because that Arthur's ban immediately makes me think Greymane. Mephisto, I don't see it here. I really don't see it on this map and in this setup. I would totally agree on other maps, and like Infernal Shrines and what's his face, Volskaya Foundry, because Marke has played the hero there several times and he actually likes to play it. But I still didn't really think he would do that here. I honestly expected him to go either for Genji or for Greymane, one of the two. Make the engage and then go straight for that. There's the Genji, and we have Jimmy with that as well. Okay, Genji to hunt Li Ming and Ana down. With that said, we're still needing our offlaner. We have seen Urel once. Let me actually think about it for a sec. What exactly have we seen? Could we see... I mean, there's too much open right now that you could really still go for with ETC. You could even see that Thrall being taken again. Yep, there it is. And Sergeant Hammer. It's hammer time. Alright. Smaragd for the auto attacks here. I actually think that so far, Wind and Rain really likes their setup. I mean, they're a really solid setup here. They just need an offlaner for this. Could still play with Leo if they wanted to. Malthael. She won't have a bit more damage against the Immortal as well. MEDIVH, okay. Portaling on Hammer. Nice. Didn't quite see that coming, but I always like to have MEDIVH on the map. It's always a lot of fun watching it. It's never really a lot of fun playing against that guy, I can tell you that much. But watching it, hey, I'm game. So, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 now, as we're heading into Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 2, Divine Vendetta against Wind and Rain on our next map. Battlefield of Eternity. For some reason I had Tomb of the Spider Queen just stuck in my head right now, but it is BOE. Born playing Thrall, Death Knight on ETC, Slag on Liming, Martin on Anna, and we have Smaragd on Sergeant Hammer. On the right side of the map, Galnugunar with Malfurion, Max Passion on Reyna, Muck on MEDIVH, Berghul on Garrosh, and Skog is playing Genji right now. So far, so good. I mean, as you would expect it here. Again, Thrall, by the way, with the Echo of Elements, because he's on the solo lane. There's nobody to really take this over for him, so no Crash Lightning. I'm now a massive fan of Trash Lightning on Battlefield of Eternity. I think on this map, it's a fantastic talent to take. And I'm always happy when we're seeing these triple melee lineups where Thrall can rotate into the 4-man. It's actually pretty awesome. Now down at the bottom of the map, we're having now still that little bit of a play around Sergeant Hammer. That's when MEDIVH is really coming to play later, when he can just drop the portal right on top of that. Obviously, Marker is going to try and also get the Arcane Rift stacks together. So that he has the extra damage output, and most importantly of all, the cooldown reduction, so he can just fire away there in big fights particularly. Slag is already angling for the side to get those setups. Yeah, ETC on the other hand, okay, slides out, but that's a lot of damage. Little ETC here gets dropped quite heavily. Martin right now trying to prove his sniper skills. Just getting one shot in after another. Yeah. Don't move. The one gif that is out there where Anna is getting so annoyed with Genji that she just unpacks the hammer, drops him unconscious so she can finally heal him. I still have that somewhere in my hard drive. That's actually one of the best ever. I laughed so hard when I saw that for the first time. Coming more from the Overwatch scene than the hero scene, but of course the idea there is pretty much the same. So in this case, Martin still trying to snipe through and make sure that Death Knight is completely topped up again. But yeah. As Anna, you have always the feeling that a lot of your allies are just working against you because they're never standing still when you need them to. But yeah. So Berghul, Max Passion, Galnugunar, they go for the bottom of the map. MEDIVH is being that little sneak that he is and just like flying around here, providing a little bit of vision. Marker still helping out bot lane. Again, can portal anyone in and out. And they're actually getting this one, alright. Attempted kill for Death Knight, that didn't work out either. Marker, fly like an eagle. I believe I can fly. I believe I can watch the sky. Da 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 da, I don't know the lyrics. Blah blah blah, da 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 da. I believe I can fly. MEDIVH, the hero that gives value by just holding down the right click and hovering over stuff. But yeah, obviously later on Marker will have to deliver a little bit more than that. For now it's fine to just provide vision. yeah. There comes the spray. That's always a little bit dicey when you're trying to get into bird form and then just before someone is sliding around they could stun you out. That's always a bit of an iffy moment. But either way, we have orb build. Someone give me a bucket. Someone give me a bucket real fast. It's kind of okay, orb build. Let's hope that he still goes at least Calamity. I mean, Skog, I have a high opinion of you. Sorry, Skog. Slake, I mean, of course. But yeah, so let's see what he can do on the level 7. But orb build. It makes actually to an extent sense on this map, to be honest with you. I mean, let's face it, if you get the long range poke off against the Immortal, then it makes a little bit of sense. But these are the moments when Mena cries a silent tear in a corner somewhere in the Nexus whenever he sees that build being used. So with that said, the current... Ooh, the stun into the Immortal stun! Nice! Smaragd gets away, as hammers do these days, but boy, that was a nice little piece of action that we just saw from Berghul on Garrosh. Nicely done. Red team is suffering a bit of damage on the Immortal, by the way. But yeah, we're currently having Death Knight shirking around there once again. Getting the slide in. Yeah, but there's a portal, baby! And now have fun getting out of that. The root on the ground, and there is the reset as we have Genji moving in. It's still hammer time on the other hand, so you need to be a little bit careful with that. They have the better poke though, I mean there's no doubt about that. But Max Passion and Skorg are currently doing their thing with Reyna and Genji down here. At least delivering the halftime show for now. So far, job well done by Wind and Rain. Again, they're ahead already with this. But let's see. There's the rotation towards the left. And Hammer is already in position. Nicely done here by ETC. Pushing backward on Garrosh out just as the attempt comes through to stun out the Sergeant. And that's a big race, by the way. Really big one. Nice stun against Hammer on the other hand. The Immortal delivers, and honestly, that Immortal stun against Hammer just won them that little fight. Here comes that Pogus, they're still fighting over the middle, but of course those two health globes topping them up quite a bit of that. 32 stacks by now for Marker, so MEDIVH definitely doesn't want to die here. We have the adjustment on level 1 with the orb setup, but thankfully we're not going full NA here. We're actually getting Calamity on level 7 still, so there's still whack-a-mole potential for the fights later on. That said... Wait, what? Blue team won it? Oh yeah, blue team won it. My bad. Why did I think red team? Ah, because Hammer got stunned. Okay. I mixed up the colors there. Well, they get quite a bit of value out of this one. Yep, there's the portal again. There's the it's just a naughty build. Can you... Oh, Martin, where's Genji when you need him? Genji is bot lane. Ah, that was a delivery right there. Martin gets delivered in the hands of Genji, and he's just sitting at the bot lane, being lazy. Sitting there against Bones like, I'm doing things, I'm getting experience. That's not where you're supposed to be, dude. Yeah, they want Genji for this one, but they don't get him. But it's a naughty lineup when you have a portal onto any hero with Garrosh, isn't it? I mean, there's no other word to describe it. It's naughty, naughty, and naughty. That basically guarantees you that you get the connect. Death Knight, talking about connects, get connected and introduced to quite a couple of spells that we have here on auto attacks too. And Bakul is just doing his thing. ETC is down, quest is completed. Malf at least forces the counter kill, but the camp is taken away. Max Passion is currently running away on max speed, trying to make sure that he doesn't fall, because as low as he is, don't take that portal too. That's not a portal you want to take. One misclick here and you're regretting your life choices today. I can tell you that much. Lead and experience is there for Divine Vendetta on the other side. Immortal spawning again, bot lane. Born still fighting that little fight with Skorg, and since we don't have any kind of self-sustain from Genji, Thrall is going to win this one easily in the long run, so that's of course one of the I mean, Genji has never been known to be a fantastic solo laner. Let's just put it like this. So him taking over the experience for now is fine, but it's obviously not the ideal case. With that said, Immortals are spawning again. That brings us on 4 points. So, bot lane, Genji is finally pushing this out. But then, with the Immortal in, we're having actually Divine Vendetta taking a massive dump on the Immortal here. Yeah, halftime show already reached. It's about level 10s now. And there they are. The early experience lead for Divine Vendetta definitely helping them with that position. And now we have level 10 on both sides. And what is nastier than portaling a Garrosh onto a target with MEDIVH? Doing that with a Garrosh that has Taunt. Exactly. So that is going to be a problem, very likely, once that the Garrosh is able to throw someone in and taunt them out. Death Knight, on the other hand, has at the same time now Mosh Pit. There's a max value move down at the bottom here, but still, not quite as much value as I thought, because the minion wave is just 5 seconds, 3 seconds too late to cover for the Shaman. So the Shaman actually is going to be taken out by that. A little bit of a lucky coincidence here for Wind and Rain. Still going to do a lot of damage. Same amount of damage as we're seeing up here. Bakul Glow. Sundering came in. That didn't connect. Was a bit too late. Market delivering some damage, but Smaragd again in range. It's Hammer time. And so far, Hammer is delivering. Just look at that Immortal. Taken easily. Now there's the throw, there's the attempt to escape, and that's a dead Hammer. No way that Smaragd gets out of there. Yeah. Got close. Caster Curse nearly connected. Call someone dies and he doesn't die. Call someone survives and he's sure gonna fall a second later. But the Immortal is so low already that the chances of them getting this are still very, very high. Marker escapes. Just look at that Immortal. It's like, boy, that thing got wrecked. Those auto attacks from Hammer just did too much. And now the Orbital is actually finding some value. You know what else is getting found out? Thrall is getting found out. And he is getting dumpstered on as well. Nice setup here with the delivery straight into the arms of Malfurion, who said, silence! But Slake is at least catching this one. So another Immortal for the blue team. But Li-Ming on the run. And Slake, yeah, it's not happening. And now ETC actually just uses escape to try and save Li-Ming, which means that he's also going to die. He might be able to delay it a little bit, but there is no way that Death Knight survives this. So what could have been only a single kill is now all of a sudden two. To ETC's credit, he tried to save her, but that's one of the things in Heroes of the Storm that people oftentimes have to learn, especially in the lower ranks, that sometimes you just have to let things go. This is a very good example of that as well. So now that we're having the top... is that fort actually going to be saved? Oh, yes, they save it. Still not a single fort down. It's the second Immortal that they lost, but it's 6 kills against 1. So here's the problem. Right now, we're having, when it comes to Immortal pressure, Divine Vendetta in a much better setup, obviously. The kill count is speaking a very different language, though. The problem with the kill count like this is, right now, it doesn't matter too much. Obviously, it matters to an extent. But the problem is going to be that as the game continues, those death timers become longer and longer. And then those kills are going to become more impactful. If you kill someone the first minute into the game, it's not going to have a big effect on the game itself. If you kill someone 15 minutes in, that's a very different story because they're down for a lot longer than that. Oh, nice! Slake and Martin nearly falling, and then Li-Ming with one quick Calamity is able to take Genji out. And you know why? Because he wasn't protected. So now they're trying to make the play down here. Taunt comes in. They're trying for the counter kill. Leyline, but Reyna is dead. Jimmy down, and Li-Ming survives through all of this. Slake is all of a sudden proving that he is able to press button as well. He smashed those buttons pretty hard. And that allows him, with Li-Ming, to get a couple of additional kills in. 13 versus 13. Look at that. They're back on board. Divine Vendetta. It's weird to say they're back on board when they are the ones having taken down the fort, but you know what I mean. They're putting a couple of kills onto the board, which is really important for the next stage of the game here in the mid-game, especially with the Immortals already announced. It's a 5 versus 5 now, though, as we're having both of them focusing onto the middle again. Level 13 talents. And you know, can somebody tell me what time it is? Oh, it's hammer time! Exactly, because those auto attacks, they keep coming. EDC thrown into a stun by Berkul. This time the race is actually going against Divine Vendetta. Wind and Rain is burning it down. There we go. Okay. Now we're having a potential to raise that down again. Of course the camp that is pushing through the bot lane is another problem. At least in a little bit. Hammer already taking position. Slowly hovering forward here. Bot lane still with the value, but they're trying to make sure that they're getting this one. Nice. There's the attack against ETC. Keep the mosh pit in mind. That still exists as well. They're trying to make the play here. Death Knight, low, mosh pit. Here comes the Sundering. There's silence, but ETC survives for now. Market tries to get the kill, but he can't. He moves out as we're seeing that portal come in. And it's still a big fight here. Even Skog has to move out. Smaragd was trying to go for a play down the bottom of the map. This one is starting to get even more value, but they need to make sure that they're protecting the Immortal now. This is actually another power grab by Divine Vendetta. They're trying to get the third Immortal. There's the portal on the other hand. Garish doesn't have the taunt yet, but they go for Hammer. Hammer goes down. Berkul then again is also low. MEDIVH protects him for so low, but not long enough. Genji again trying to get the kill, and Ana gets away. The ley line connects with 2, and there's the reset as the Swift Strike kill comes in. Again, MEDIVH with a protection here. If I was Born, I would be a little bit annoyed right now. That was a sure kill, but Macke had it ready. wave of force, making sure that no one falls, and it is immortal time. Yeah, same moment though, we're having down to the bottom of the map that Cam pushing through. And that put a serious amount of damage onto the keep here. Damn, son. I mean, that's one rotation from falling. So, pretty tough. Wow. That actually nearly went down. But as it stands, they don't have immortal pressure just yet. That is actually pretty nuts, to be honest with you. They were able to hold on to that. Now, you look at the map and you see that both of those forts have been taken out, and the keeper's nearly fallen as well. These are going to be the first structures that actually fall on Divine Vendetta side. But as predicted before, the kills that are coming in, or the surplus kills from Wind and Rain, they have more and more of an impact right now. Immortal might not even be able to take down that fort. It's at least going to be extremely close. It gets maybe one more hit in, not even that. So yeah, fort doesn't even fall. It's actually starting to get a little bit crazy. Divine Vendetta, despite everything that has happened so far on this map, is still in a more than decent position. In terms of talents now on 13, by the way, the debilitating round. No giddy up here. Li Ming getting away from that portal. Every single time you see that portal appear, you're just like, oh shit. And that's exactly what Slade thought when he moved away there. Just teleported away. As a level 16 talent. Great for Jimmy. Oh. Holds it back. No paint and red. Jimmy. There we go. I was already about to say, do we have to talk, my boy? There's something you wanted to tell me about? Nope. Paint and red is taken. That's a sustain for him right here. And we have now also the 16 on the other side. With Divine Vendetta having access now to Giant Killer and ooh, the Arcane Orbit. Alright, alright, alright. Slake likes his Li Ming orb build. He sure does. Here comes the engage in the back door. Oh, triple stun and taunt. But also the kill. Ana is dead too, though. That's a different story. And here's the party time. ETC, you little animal there. Genji gets dropped. He tried to save him, but didn't work. And so it's 2 kills for 1. Great trade here for Divine Vendetta. They want to put their point onto the scoreboard here in that game. And down goes the keep. That's constant catapults now through the bot lane. Nicely done. And Wind and Rain is a bit in trouble now. That catapult pressure is going to become a thing. And as you can see here, the fort still stands, and the fort at the top lane stands too, which obviously means that at this point, there's absolutely no way you're going to get any catapults for yourself, so there's going to be continuous pressure mounting. But they're trying to at least make the play here. The problem that they have right now is that while they are damaging the Immortal, this one is taken. And once it pushes through the bot lane, it will reach the core eventually, because it will also be assisted by all of the catapults that already are accumulated here. So they need to rush. They need to try and win the halftime show and then win the decisive battle. That's what Wind and Rain has to do if they want to win this now. And they're trying. Not quite sure why Jimmy didn't move. I guess they thought they could get that Immortal before it dropped another stun. But again, there was nobody to follow it up, so it didn't really matter. Defensive position over here. Hammer's of course far out. But time is working in favor of Divine Vendetta. Time is working in their favor, and they know that too. That's why Back will try to go in deep here. As they're trying to poke that Immortal. And actually poking it pretty hard there too. So if they can be quick with it, they have an easy defense at the bottom of the map, and that is a solid amount of damage that they have. But obviously Divine Vendetta will try and push that back and just defend long enough for this to become such a big obstacle that someone has to move back. Backhold is in deep and barely gets away. That was a quick call. Oh, but Martin goes down. Nice, Genji. Genji with the plays again. The problem is, of course, that your tank is super low. Skog himself on his Genji is extremely low there too. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. MEDIVH gets wrecked. That's the end of Maka. And the core is falling on the other side. Well, maybe not falling, but the core is at least taking damage. Skog is taking care of that. Still that bait turret here in the middle that for some reasons always seems to be the higher priority. Oh, Born. Born got a bit wrecked there. Still trying to make the play. Still, anyone's immortal to take. 89% on the core. But still, those late game immortals, they are beasts. If you get this one, you get a 4, then you might get a bit more. Good push by ETC back into the stun circle. But it feels like we're going to see the first immortal in this game from Wind and Rain. They're trying at least. 300 hit points left. That's really not a whole lot. You can basically take that down with just the Banshee alone, and that's exactly what they're doing. Banshee takes the hits, and that now gives us also immortal time. And this is actually a 50% shield immortal. That ain't too bad. It's really, really not bad when it comes to the immortal damage. Still at the same time, Maka is down at the bottom of the map, trying to push out another catapult real quickly. If he can take that down, that would mean a lot for them, but he also has to make his way up top. Cooldown ready? Yep, there it is. So this one should at least go through the 4. The question is, what else can they get? And look at experience. Has changed. You see Divine Vendetta ahead. And that's where they want to be, as they're starting to push in. Trying to go for the play here. Push this one out. Okay. That's actually their second immortal, right? At the bottom of the map, they actually had one immortal earlier, but they couldn't get anything done with it. It was super low shields. This one is a little bit more impactful. So, yeah, second immortal for them, but can they this time find a bit of value? Definitely seems like it. So we have that already taken. Down to the... Well, at the same time now, at least some damage on the keep. They won't be able to get it, but it's also about experience right now. You want to make sure that for the next objective you have the level 20, or at least you're not trailing behind too much. I mean, it's already bad enough if you, for example, lose out on the halftime show. But you need to make sure that at least after that you're in a good spot. And that little rotation down to the bottom 4 to top this one up to take this down, that was important as well. Now there's an equilibrium at the top lane now with catapults spawning on every 3rd wave. But at the bottom of the map they at least made sure that the pressure was a bit diminished. Not quite as much as usual. So yeah. Still rotation from... Again, it's just about catching experience right now. This is what both of the teams are going to be looking for. Get experience, get level 20. And they should both get that fight. So, to be fair, I feel with everything taken off the map, except for 3 of the keeps, the next immortal is extremely likely to end the game. Around level 20 with that too, so there's a very, very good chance that that's going to be happening. They're getting a bit of XP now through the mercenaries as well, and they're taking the waves down. That's of course where MEDIVH is also just a massive asset, because you always know where your opponent is. 27 seconds on the other hand, not really a lot of time. And you get a few more waves. This one, someone has to take care of this one. And then they can make the play maybe at the bottom of the map, take some of those catapults down, they will have to. There's already some of the ults coming through. Bolt of the Storm for 2. ETC and THRALL are taking it. Another camp taken. But MEDIVH has to... again, this is a triple catapult. You can't let this one go through. And it looks like they have to give up the halftime show. Exactly as predicted earlier. Give up the halftime show and try to find them. Okay. Well, there we have that. Halftime show is nearly lost, but at least they're taking down the entire bot lane. 20 versus 20. MEDIVH cheats taken on 20 now. They didn't really have to spell it out in my opinion. They could have given the talent another name, because we all know that MEDIVH is not operating within the normal rules of engagement here. But also we're having for Jimmy execute, and the dragon becomes me. It's a bit of an arrogant trade name, if you can say so myself, but still. We're used to that from Genji. Genji is definitely, it's always me. I need healing. I need this. I need that. It's like, we're kind of used to it by now, but boy, that guy can be annoying. So yeah, they're starting to win this without a fight. I mean, the top lane pressure against the keep, that's a problem. They're actually sacrificing the keep. And a little bit late. They're sacrificing the keep right now in order to get the immortal at least one, but they might lose this one after all. They're fighting for this, but guys, this is getting dicey here to say the least. And top side, oh, they have actually saved it. Wow. That was a close call. That would have shot a little bit more. If the wave would have been closer, that should have been a top side keep that falls. They were totally willing to sacrifice it. And then decided against it. Okay. There we have it. I mean, that Immortal is a given. That Immortal is going to be taken. The question was happening around the fight. Slake. The Dragon! Genji moves in, doesn't get too much. Here comes MEDIVH cheats. Bangle is low. Immortal is taken, and they just disengage. They used a lot of ults for this one, but they are going to find around the Immortal now. The Immortal goes bot lane. So all of a sudden, it is a really scary moment for the Divine Vendetta. They only have one real ult up themselves, and that's of course Mosh Pit. If ETC hits it, they are still in a decent position here. But boy, is this getting dicey. This is getting really dicey for them now. The shields are, thankfully for the Divine Vendetta, quite low, but the keep should definitely fall. I mean, to be fair, you have Hammer on the other hand, so Hammer is actually pretty brutal. Hammer might be able to just get this bad boy dropped in time, but it's doing a ton of damage here. Hammer or no Hammer, that doesn't really matter. Already Backhold is waiting for the portal. Tries to find it. Death Knight with the portal control here, but the keep is down. Can they go core? That's the question right now. Can they already go for the core? Smaragd is firing away. Hammer is just setting this up the entire time. Good positioning by him too, never exposing himself to anything here. They're not finding the kill. That's the big problem for Wind and Rain. They do not find the kill, and the core is falling, but it's not falling quickly enough. They have to move away here. Here comes the Nature's Cure. That was good. Death Knight is looking for the Mosh Pit. Doesn't find it yet, but the kill against Backhold. And there's no portal this time. As again, MEDIVH cheats, stops 3. 2 are still in hot pursuit though. Nicely done by Li Ming, trying to set something up, and here's the escape, and this one should... Oh! Still at the storm already, and there's the kill against MEDIVH. Yeah, a little bit of a stupid mistake, to be honest, by Wind and Rain. That was not necessary. They might even lose more right now. It would be a disaster for them. Oh, the turnaround! The counter kill right there. Galnigonar trying to stop them a little bit more, but it seems like Malfurion is going to fall as well. If it's ending right now, it's their own fault. I mean, honestly, guys, this was a bit of a dumb mistake. You could already tell for quite some time that that Immortal wouldn't end the game. They had all the time in the world to move away. They didn't. Great Mosh Pit against the solo right now, securing the kill, and that should be game. Divine Vendetta is likely to win game number 2, 8 seconds on Garrosh. A good push, but they overstayed their welcome. Never moved back in time. They could have disengaged, did it too late, and now they're paying the price as Divine Vendetta takes game number 2 and ties the best of 5 series. GG, well played. Game number 3, Divine Vendetta. They actually played really well. Wind and Rain on the other side, they got blown off the map on the Battlefield of Eternity. They got swept away, you could say, as Divine Vendetta just obliterated them in the last chase, took down 3, in the end 4 after the Mosh Pit, and now the series is tied and we have Volskaya Foundry as our map. So, we're going to see if Wind and Rain is going to be able to take this one. This is a typical Mephisto map, by the way, for Amaka. Mephisto got already banned out in one of the previous games. It's also a map where you can play Tracer. Problem is Divine Vendetta knows that too. So they're sitting there, it's like, this Mucker guy. The plays with MEDIVH definitely work, but there's the Hammer ban. No more Hammer shenanigans, which opens, of course, a couple of heroes up that can change the dynamic here. I would still expect Zeratul and MEDIVH to ban out. Well, maybe not anymore, because there's the Tracer ban. Which means that if you don't ban MEDIVH or Zeratul from the perspective of Wind and Rain, you're gonna get one or the other. So that's pretty much what's gonna happen there. And what are they gonna ban? I would honestly expect that they're gonna let both of them go and just ban something else. And they don't. They ban Zeratul. So now MEDIVH can get banned out, and you get still access to an early Tyrande, to an early tank. Ooh, Divine Vendetta is thinking about not banning MEDIVH? Really? That would make things interesting. Okay, just kidding. There was actually a thread the other day on Reddit where someone put together the stats of heroes that are getting played in Division S. And one guy commented immediately and says like, that's so interesting. MEDIVH was played so much during HGC and now we don't see her at all. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. It's because she's banned in 99% of the games. It's like some people are not able to read a chart. First pick on HANZO. Skog takes it again immediately. MEDIVH just not making it into these games, is she now? Get to Fierce. Sniperino. The burst damage is in the house. Lee, Ming, and Jaina. Alright. Full female team here. Look at those eyes. Not a single emotion in them. Cold-hearted as they are. I think Jaina's are green? Yeah, green and blue. And there's the Mephisto. Called it. Mephisto and Malfurion taken. But yeah, Tyrande and Jaina. Alright, this is going to get dicey. They need a pre-stun. What do we have in terms of pre-stuns? Diablo. Garrosh. ETC I'm not really the biggest fan of in this particular setup right now. Maybe you go for Jojo. Iblis Shield depends a bit on what we're going to see banned out. Yep, there's the Johanna ban actually. And... are we going to see another frontline ban here? Yes, Diablo! The Dibbles gets banned right away. Let's go. I mean, again, can still play with Garrosh here, no problem. Stun Tyrande, taunt, Jaina damage. Easy peasy. Stitches! Okay, nice. So we're gonna have Stitches hook into Tyrande stun, into Jaina damage, into Sylvanas. Femme fatale here on the left side. 3 of them at that. It's gonna be Team Cougar. As on the right side, we have on Wolfsfire Foundry, the last double pick. We need the offlaner and we need the main tank. Garrosh is still around. Backward could take it, but Tyrell is also open, and they get Leoric with that as well. Space Leoric skin. Tyrell now on this. Okay, so they have the Sanct. Have also heroes that can jump out quite easily if Stitches gets the hook in. But we need also an offlaner right now. So what's it going to be? Do we see that Blaze? Is it going to be a Thrall setup again? Have a little more lockdown around that Wolf? Urel, if you really wanted to. And on was Gaia. Last pick. It is Thrall. There we go. Let's head straight into the game and see which team takes the lead in the series here. Series is tied at this point. Win and Reign going up against the Divine Vendetta. Game number 3. We are on like Lordaeron. Divine Vendetta against Wind and Rain. On the left side of the map, Death Knight on Stitches, going straight into his extra healing with a patchwork creation. Slag on Jaina, Martin on Tyrande. We're also seeing Smaragd on Sylvanas, and Born on Thrall with Galnagonar on Malfurion for Wind and Rain. We're having Mako and Mephisto. Berkult at the same time is currently playing Tyrael here once again. Skog on HANZO and Max Passion on Leoric. As we're going into our traditional mid lane brawl here. Sylvanas still not made the choice yet. Are we going to see the stacks on level 1? Yes or no? Nah, we don't. Might of the Banshee Queen is a great talent, don't get me wrong, but from an observer's perspective, it's always fun to see stacking talents, especially enter stacking, because you can judge players so beautifully well when you're seeing how many stacks they're getting over the duration of game. So it's kind of interesting. Either way, Sylvana's already at the top on the money pick. That's extra points for her. Golden Cock is in play as well. There's a lot of those around lately, by the way. I've seen an entire team in the Gold League that was riding that thing. Having a lot of fun with it, as far as I could tell. It's a vibrant mount, it is. Max Passion going up against Born down at the bottom of the map. In the meantime, a bit of a battle here in the middle too, where Death Knight apparently landed a hook. Now, I love that we have a bit more Stitches recently. At Meta Madness, what I enjoyed quite a bit was that we actually had so many builds from Thrall, from stock on Stitches that centered heavily around him getting globes. and having that 9,000 hit point pool towards the end of the game was actually really fun. And it inspired me to go for the 10,000 hit point challenge. You need to make sure that you... I don't even know how many of those globes you would have to get to hit that, but quite a fair amount. I mean, either way, currently down at the bottom, we're certainly seeing the blue team now trying to shirk around here and see what's happening around, especially the healing beacon, as both of the teams have taken their turret. That's obviously the next focus point. So we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. Alright. There we have Max Passion getting hooked and stunned, but not killed because Slake wasn't there yet or didn't have the cooldowns ready. But still Macke trying to jump in here and do a bit of work with the Lightning Nova. So far, so good. Top side. Smaragd still eyeing Skok, dancing around him here. And down to the bottom of the map, we are still seeing Max Passion just sitting there. It's like, hello, boys. How you doing? But yeah. Top right. I mean, again, they're not really fighting too hard right now. We had the little brawl happening over the healing beacon that was won by the red team, but even that wasn't really a massive commitment or anything. So now we're currently looking at a level 5 for both of them. A slight item advantage for Wind and Rain. It's really the objective that matters. And from there on, we're going to start with a bit of a lead there, if anything. So right now, just them hovering here. Stitches, of course, is always going to cause a bit of a friction point and trying to land that hook. And if he can, and the follow-up from Martin on Tyrande is there, that would be great. But outside of that, they are just trying to make sure that they get that protector. And they're already starting to take the point here, as you can see. So everybody just accumulated here in the middle. At the top, we're still seeing the solo laners doing a bit of their thing. Or, well, Sylvanas in this case, against Leoric, who has transitioned over. And the rest here, the problem is that you can't really do a whole lot as Stitches because you're usually sitting farther behind. Unless you, of course, land a hook like that and just simply drop Hanzo. Just about to say, you're not really the hero that pushes in. But if you hook the most vulnerable target on the other side with that much precision, then you pretty much decide that fight in your favor immediately, which is kind of the point of the hero in the first place. So yeah, well done. That was a really good one. But normally as Stitches you can't really do too much because you don't really have a lot of zone control. Like, it's not that you can move in, push someone out or bully them around. But still, with that quick kill, they're of course now starting to catch up here. But Hanzo's going to be back. I mean, 4 minutes in, death timers are pretty low. So they're starting to go into this. Isolating Death Knight already, or at least trying to. He's in trouble. Loses half HP, but again the hook against Hanzo, and there's the next kill. Hanzo needs to be a little bit careful with his positioning. I mean, there's a reason they picked that particular lineup. You can't just simply YOLO into that the entire time and give Stitches the easiest hook of his life. Good on Death Knight though, capitalizing on all of these things quite easily with the damage. Turret's already on the ground. This time they have to fight. They can't wait for Hanzo to come back. They can try and buy a little bit of time. But that is it. Overtime is reached. Now they're starting to reclaim the position and Hanzo's back on the board. 2 deaths or 2 kills against him already. But yeah, there we go. Another hook, another kill. They are murdering right now. Divine Vendetta, look at that. Death Knight on the other hand. Ah, nice. The root from Galnagol now was perfect. Just as he tried to escape, and then there's the kill. Backhold survives for now. 99% against 99, and with a kill against Jaina, they still get it, don't they? Yes, they do. Nicely done. It's 3 kills against 2, but those 2 kills come at the perfect moment in time. And now they're jumping in deep, taking not only the wall in the middle, but obviously the rotation will eventually start to head towards the top. At the bottom of the map, you're already having the fight continue with Max, Passion, and Born. 2 of them fighting it out here on the solo. In the mid lane with half a level lead already, we're still seeing Tyrael doing his own thing, trying to help out, so that works. But yeah, well done here. Really well done. Doing a lot of work with this and starting to move straight in for not only the wall, but obviously trying to take the entire fort if they can. Normally it's just the idea to get the fountain down, but if you can get the entire fort, then hell yeah, count me in. And with level 10, the arrow. A triple kill, baby. And what a beautiful one. Macke dropping all 3 of them after a godlike arrow from HANZO. So HANZO pretty much saying, alright boys, I got it. I failed a little bit in the early game, I did, but just watch me hit my arrow. And that's it. He's the Wilhelm Tell of Heroes of the Storm. He's the Robin Hood of the Heroes Brawler. And he connects those pretty well. But yeah, again, Backward was waiting for the hook. Did you see the little dance with Death Knight there? Both of them were waiting for the cooldowns to be thrown out that they can capitalize on it. We have now level 10 abilities for both sides. Obviously, the last fight was a bit of an uneven one because of that a nice lead in heroic abilities. But now we see that for both. And we actually don't have Ring of Frost. I'm disappointed. That water elemental that we already see popping up there is coming back in. Nice! Sundering being used just after the Entomb forces the fight, but there's the follow-up that we're seeing against Born. The hook again! But only Maka and the arrow! Haha! Duranda! They can't kill her. Sanctification on the ground, but she dropped low and so did Sylvanas. And the hooks just keep coming. Death Knight, calm down, bro. Skog is extremely lucky that he lives there. I mean, that was an absolute brutal hook. Once again, putting HANZO into a lot of trouble, but he's able to get out this time. So we're ending up at 5 kills against 3. We still have that lead with roughly a level in experience for the team in red as they're taking the item again. The focus point immediately becomes, obviously, the healing beacon. As they're going in for that. Down to the bottom, we have in the meantime still this one open. So that could be taken, and Sylvanas was thinking about moving in, but now that they're seeing the red team making their play here, they're a little bit more hesitant with that. They kind of have to fight that fight. There comes again the hook. No Wraith Walk, and that's the end of Max Passion, isn't it? It is. He gets at least the Entomb out. But there's the healing beacon, and Born just steals it away. Look at that little thief. Comes in and steals it right out of their hands. Super annoying situation right now for Wind and Rain. Not only do they lose Leoric, they lose the healing beacon too. Nice! Oh, the ice block! Oh, baby! Slake with a slick plays right there. Sees the arrow coming, ice blocks it out, and that saves him. Wind and Rain. A little bit on tilt. Well, maybe not on tilt, but they soon will be. I mean, think about it. They go for the healing beacon, they nearly take that down, do a fantastic job around that. Then they get it stolen away, they lose Leoric, they're trying to make the play for Jaina. It's a fantastic arrow that gets shot down by HANZO again. And then just before it connects, seeing them go in and simply ice block it, and that was the end of that. Of course, they still have the lead in talents. We're going to have Divine Vendetta try and catch up before they force the fight here towards the top in the second objective. But still, that is pretty fantastic what we're seeing so far here. It's a cool setup. Just need the 13 still, but that should be enough experience, and indeed it is. 13 versus 13 now. Again, the Entomb. The ice block already. Bit early. HANZO has 5 seconds for the arrow, but Tyrael dies. Never even using the Sanctification. Gets the explosion through, but Max Passion is falling now too. Divine Vendetta, ladies and gentlemen, is starting to get a lead here. That's actually pretty impressive, considering that they don't have a fountain left on the top lane anymore. That's actually a really interesting setup right now. I had Wind and Rain seriously pegged as the favorite, and the first game kind of confirmed that, but they are starting to actually lose a bit of that momentum. So, once again, here comes the vision. Tyrael is back too. The one thing that you get through him not using Sanctification is you have at least a fight with a lot of heroic, with basically all of your heroic abilities still. And you look over to Divine Vendetta, they don't have a single heroic ability right now. That's a huge disadvantage for them. Slake is trapped, the arrow doesn't connect, and the Helping Hands saves Jaina again. She doesn't even need the ice block this time. Wind and Rain just sacrificed 3 ults and got jack shit for it. Absolutely nothing. Niente. Zilch. Nada. There we have him again. Turret's already on the ground. Ults are back up for the blue team, by the way, and they get the kill against Leoric. Another nice block here from Slake. Seeing also the turnaround onto the objective. And another 5 versus 4. They're looking good. They still have a lot of their heroics. The Wailing Arrow is still up. Wind and Rain is really starting to fall farther and farther behind with this. It's a really unfortunate setup for them. When they were engaging originally with the entire setup, still having their heroic abilities of cooldown, that looked great, but when they sacrificed 3 ults and they get the kill, it turned around quickly. Stitches with the helping hand, ruining the play. This time they're focusing on Death Knight himself, and he is down. Identifying that Stitches is a huge cause of their problems. That's a great setup against Sylvanas. Just as it looks like we're gonna see Wind and Rain getting dominated here. They finally find their rhythm. HANZO with 5 arrows into the back of Jaina, straight to the heart and the neck. Drops her. That should pretty much also secure them the Protector here. Not only the Protector, already making the play for the healing beacon itself. The 16 talent in their hands now too. Nice lead for them for sure. Max Passion. Ooh, if he sees that, then yeah, Martin will have to abandon that idea either way. That is just a little bit too ambitious for the little Tyrande that that could, or at least wanted. Level 16 talents and the Protector. They can now start into the middle. Easy drop on the fort. It's down. Big idea, obviously. Go down to the bot lane. Trap objective number 3, and then from there on out, push down through the bot lane. If you can open up the wall over here, that would help you if you take objective number 3. So that would already be another big win for them. Damage output, HANZO leading the charts. Sylvanas actually a little bit ahead even, if you think about it. Pulls are all up again, and Max Passion is looking for the Entomb. Entomb into an arrow. Always a good setup, and that's an easy drop. And look at the Protector. 82% in 40 seconds. That's a dream right there. That's absolutely fantastic. They're already going for the kill, but a hook and a kill against Leoric. Nicely done. And again, Death Knight is just delivering. That guy is a badass on Stitches. Like, oh boy. Didn't expect that. I have to admit, I'm impressed. Like, he is... Look at this! He's connecting it again! They might not get a kill, but indeed they do. Tyrael is dropped again, got interrupted on the Sanctification. And there's HANZO with a counter kill. The arrow! Oh, dodged! But Max Passion is gonna have the Entomb. Yeah, Death Knight is dead. Death Knight is dead. Leo, Entomb time! And yes, there it is. Nice! Look at HANZO dropping both Sylvanas and Tyrande. I am really impressed by Wind and Rain. First of all, the Stitches plays are fantastic. And that turnaround was great, but then able to just kill still 4 heroes off after you suffered at the hands of Divine Vendetta this much, that's impressive to say the least. And Skog is just hitting hard, everything that he needs to hit there. The roots on the ground that we're seeing from Galna Gulnar are fantastic. We started the game with a kill that he delivered into the hands of his team. Really nicely done here by our Malfurion support. They're going for the keep and they get it easy peasy. 2-level lead for them now. 9 against 13 kills on that board. Extremely well done here. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, and Death Knight again. He's tickling those little horns of Mephisto as he throws the hook out. He definitely knows how to get it done. Bikini Stitches, my friend. Shake that ass, baby. He certainly does. And he has every reason to. There's another item taken, but the 20 is just so close now. 4 seconds on the camp. That's another healing beacon for them. And the 20 talents are, of course, going to give them the huge lead that they need. Looking at the stats again. Leorki already got a lot of value this game. Seeing at 5 deaths. But still, if you trade a hero in a fight, you want it to be Leoric. I mean, at some point it's a meme, right? Because a lot of Leoric players seem like they're inting a little bit hard, but at the same time, a good Leoric player will make sure that he's the one that sacrifices himself first. Now talking sacrifices, Marke with a nice dodge here, well done. Ice block into arrow, the mace to the face once again as Leoric goes for the big swing. And that's Jaina dead, that's Sylvanas down, and they're trying to get more, and they will get more. Martin falls, makes it a triple, and they're already starting to chase THRALL a little bit harder, but of course now it's the bot lane that they go for. They're going to end the game here. They have Sanctification up, the Tyrael explosion is obviously going to do a lot of damage to the core itself as it stands already, and they are going for it. Nicely set up here. Only the 2 melee heroes are still alive. The turret already on the ground to soak the shots here. As we see Wind and Rain moving in. The hook connects once again, but the bullseye does too. And they are dropping that shield. Jaina's just coming in too late. There's the double healing beacon on the ground as we have Wind and Rain claiming victory in game number 3 and taking the lead in this series once again. GG and well played. Game number 1 was pretty good. This is game number 4 on the other hand. As we're going into Infernal Shrines, it was a great save, right? It was a fantastic save. It was really good. It's like smooth. You wouldn't have even noticed it if I didn't talk about it right now, but yeah. So game number 4, Infernal Shrines. This is the map Wind and Rain going up against Divine Vendetta. Could be the last one. Depends on Divine Vendetta. I like the Stitches play. I liked it a lot. Now we're going into Infernal Shrines. A little bit different with the priorities of certain heroes that you really want here. Heroes in general are fun to me, especially when you like talk to the Twitch crowd and then you see, for example, the YouTube crowd reacting to it. Especially the viewers on YouTube when they look at the VODs, they can't understand why Kel'Thas isn't an insta-pick in every single game. It's honestly sometimes hilarious. It's like, what do you mean all these heroes were banned and they still didn't pick Kel'Thas? Kel'Thas was open? It's honestly a little bit funny. Some people have a hard time understanding that on a competitive level, even on an amateur level sometimes, a hero like Kel'Thas is just extremely bad compared to the alternatives. Or at least very niche. Let's call him niche here. There's a couple of maps like Infernal Shrines, like Tomb of the Spider Queen, where in certain situations he can be a worthy pick. But apparently they're all affected by Wood League, Hero League syndrome. At least that's what it feels like sometimes with some of the comments that we're getting. But yeah, of course, if you're following anything of the amateur scene or the pro scene, then you have a pretty good idea of what the meta currently is like. One of the reasons why Meta Madness, of course, was such a nice concept to just push the teams out of that a bit. Tracer gets banned again. I mean, it's a little bit like playing against Granite Gaming. Ty is also never going to get his Tracer again. It was amazing to see the other day the DAB actually was able to play the hero. But now we're having with Hammer banned again and also Hanzo taken out. MEDIVH and Tracer banned out too. Which means that Zeratul is open. And Slake picks Zeratul right away. So we're going to see if that's going to be a setup for them. And of course, immediately when you see Zeratul, the question is, where does Jaina land? Do you pick Jaina now? I kind of feel you should. What did we have the other day in our last Division S match? Was it Granite Gaming against nothing left? Okay, there's at least Diablo. Diablo and Jaina, both are taken. I like it. Because the mistake that was made back then was that the opponent, after Zeratul first pick, did pick neither of the two heroes that Wind and Rain just locked down. And then all of a sudden you had Zeratul, Jaina, and Diablo against you. And that was pretty much a death sentence right there. So, incredibly powerful. But there's still a whole lot that he can do with Zeratul. There's still a few synergies around, even though those are obviously the best ones. Okay, there's the engage setup with Anubarak and Turanda. One of the combos that I enjoyed for a long time, even though it's a little bit harder to hit and it's oftentimes not really worth it because you can connect it anyways, was when it started with the Zeratul Void Prison into an Hanzo Arrow. That just kind of looks epic. Most of the time you don't need that setup and you can just simply play around Hanzo himself. But some of these things just like look cool from an idea perspective. It was pretty fun. So when it comes to bans, Liming gets taken away. Okay, I could have seen them actually even pick Liming. The problem, of course, is that they already run Jaina. Now we have seen a few attempts in the past to run with a double mage. Some of them actually successful, but it's still not really traditionally what you want. You want to have a mage and you want to have a sustainable auto attack damage dealer. That can be another third melee hero, or it can be an auto attacker like good old Jimmy. But you kind of want to have some mix on those lines so that you're not too cooldown heavy, or your opponent can abuse that. Okay, the ban against Ana. Banana strategy. Makes a lot of sense because the Jaina with a nano boost is brutal. Especially since I could see them play with Leoric here again. And if you drop Leoric's in Tomb and then Jaina has just full reign over the target, then the nano boost is an absolute devastating setup here. So, with that said, is it going to be Leo? Mouth first of all. And there's the Leoric. Yes, I like it. Leoric Entomb into Diablo Apocalypse, Jaina, Damage, Ring of Frost maybe. And on the other side, Blaze, Urel. Probably Urel. I think you're. Oh, they want to go for Thrall. Nah, that would be a little bit. That would be very squishy. I would say we're gonna see Urel here, or it's at least likely that she's going to play part of this. And then in second damage healer could be Jimmy as well. Could try and control Diablo a little bit. Ooh, no, nothing of the sort. Sylvanas and ETC. Okay. Gonna try and play by disabling the structures again. Last but not least, another damage dealer here for the red team. Smells like Jimmy in here, if you ask me. Yeah, smells a little bit like Jimmy. Could be mistaken here, but fuck. I would have been so annoying if that would have been a Jimmy pick. God, would have been a condescending ass. Even more than usual. You believe it or not. Zarya, on the other hand, I like that also a bit because we don't see her all that often. So I'll let that one slide at least for now. Last pick, Zarya, Infernal Shrines, game number 4. Let's head into it. Game number 4, Divine Vendetta against Wind and Rain. Now granted, I was smelling Jimmy a little bit, and then Zarya got locked in, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe the two of them? Not a thought that I want to really go into detail at, but let's introduce the teams here instead. On the left side, a Nubarak, played by Death Knight. We have Born on ETC, Martin on Tyrande, Slake on Zeratul, Smaragd on Sylvanas, going to the Unfurling Shadows on level 1. And on the right side, Wind and Rain with Galnuguna on Malfurion, Skok on Jaina, Maka on Zarya, Max Passion on Leoric, and Backhold on Diablo. You need to be a little bit careful if you talk about the love life of the heroes here. If you're talking too much about that, then Jaina might be getting a little bit jealous here, and then you never know what happens. It's going to be a bit of a brawl within their own team. Never a really good idea. In terms of talents, we actually see the Soul Shield on 1, and we also have the Particle Grenades here with the Demolitions Expert. I actually like Zarya a lot. I think Zarya can be a lot of fun, and I would expect that on level 4 we're going to get the speed bubble again, and that pretty much means that you're getting the damage. So in case that you're actually wondering, obviously when you're playing with Zarya, you just bubble yourself, get the shield in, walk into tower range, soak 2 shots, and that gives you energy. So that is on purpose. But yeah, here comes the attack against the backline, trying to get the kill against Sylvanas, and how would you know it? They actually get it. They are able to take it down. Fairly well done, and they get the second kill too. Divine Vendetta with the aggressive setup as they're moving in immediately and starting to get the kills here. And they're looking for more in the mid lane as Backhold makes the engage against ETC happen. Okay. With that said, I am personally still interested for the level 4 talent, because I could totally see Diablo on speed just running around like a baby on crack and try and simply get those connects, get those pushes into the wall. Well, to the top lane in the meantime. This is a setup that can be really annoying. I mean, if you have an ETC power slide into a stun, whew, that can definitely hurt. That can definitely do the job here. If you have the burst damage, and that's always the question, do they have that? Again, having a camp taken, push in the middle, oh, the power slide, there it is, Zarya is down. That's exactly what we've been talking, power slide into stun from Tyrande, and whoo, that does the work for sure. Now the stacks are also coming in from Smaragd, obviously. He's sitting at 11 right now. I'm going to try and get a bit more from that. It is a sick damage output that you can get with Sylvanas these days, especially if you get the stacking together. That kill down here is definitely going to happen too, because Jaina was just a bit too far out against the setup, and Slake said, oh, look at that, a freebie, as Smaragd comes in for the final hit. It's all of a sudden 2 kills against 2. So we had an explosive start into this from Wind and Rain, but now Divine Vendetta is showcasing that they're definitely not eager to lose the series right here. They're still attempting to force a game 5 out of this. When it comes to the talent level 4, as expected, the speed barrier. That should be pretty sweet for Diablo. We've seen this actually with Garrosh, and I was very impressed how much value you can get out of that sped up Garrosh play if you have that talent. But now that we're seeing the shrine not even activated, but instead the rotation towards the top, Leorki is getting some value. My Max Passion seems to be okay with us. Like, nah, I'm gonna be back in a few seconds. We're fine, boys. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. We're all good. Jaina's down at the bottom of the map anyway. It's all calculated. You think they got a kill? I just provide vision. It's all fine. A little bit of a lead here. Minions on the shrine as we're seeing Wind and Rain starting to move in. Okay. Smaragd at the side. They're already moving back because Slake has to deal with the camp. The problem is he's also getting a lot of damage pushed out onto himself here. He gets finally the kill in, but he can't do anything at this point. And look at the lead that we're seeing for Wind and Rain. They are absolutely blowing through that shrine right now. They're hailing down the damage, and it looks like they are going to grab this one. I mean, they're 10 away. That's pretty good. Moving in with Leoric again. Zeratul is there, wants to kill against Max Passion. There's the barrier though, and they're poking from the outside still, as they're trying to get a couple more secured. 32 against 22. Gotta admit, Divine Vendetta's getting a little bit closer than I expected them to, but here comes Leoric, another big push. 36, the kill against Zarya. They're 4 away from getting it though. And Martin is low. Martin might fall, but Max Passion is gonna die first. Oh, he is. Yeah, but there's the attempt to go for Sylph. Nicely done. Good setup from Backhold. 39, and that is it. Martin barely survives. Just... Oh, clutch, and Death Knight, Tyrande is down, and so is Anubarak. 5 kills against 5, level 8 versus level 8. Snake is thinking about, can I actually blink this? Yeah, he doesn't want to give vision to that Punisher. If he does, that might be the end of him, and he knows that too. So this is actually a max value Punisher right there. That is actually really annoying, that you lost so many heroes that you can't even defend the mid lane. I mean, look at that disaster. That is actually a nightmare. I mean, normally you let your opponent break through the wall and that's about it, but that bad boy is just obliterating this thing. There was no one who could bait him over. Zeratul was so low that if he baits him and he misses the blink or he doesn't have enough mana for it, then he is going to die 100%. So they couldn't make it work. Now the fort is down and the rotation to the bot lane has started, where the red team is trying to do the exact same thing once again. ETC with the Echo Paddle here. 41 stacks, by the way, for Sylvanas in the meantime. And Leo is, of course, making his rotation, and since ETC took Echo Paddle, he has by now started to take over the offlane duty. If you're a little bit new to the setup, ETC, he can definitely be the offlaner. The thought process behind it is most of the time that you're trying to go into stage dive. So you have a pseudo-global that you can use to go into the fights. You have a bit of a macro aspect to your lineup. But in order to do that, you need to go for Echo Paddle on level 7 so that you have the wave clear. If you don't do that, then you have a huge problem because you won't be able to keep up with wave clear at all. So in this particular setup, as level 7 approaches, Zeratul is a bit more free to roam the map, and ETC is taking over a lot of the side lane duties and tries to soak the experience. The level 10 ability is a bit of an advantage here to Wind and Rain, that they try to translate into damage on the fort itself. Not quite able to make that play. Zeratul obviously already eyeing that Void Prison. Stage dive, as expected, is there. And Slake is looking for it. Ring of Frost, by the way, I'm happy about that. So once that we are seeing them play with the Ring of Frost, they have also the Expulsion Zone. That's where you need to be a little bit careful. Expulsion Zone, Entomb, and Ring of Frost. Those 3 ults. There's a lot of synergy, but also asymmetry there. We have to be very, very careful how you use that, or you might be in a lot of trouble. Well, it is an advantage on the map right now. Ooh, Diablo actually making the engage here against Death Knight. They're trying to make the play for him. Anubarak needs to be cautious. Anubarak, does he still have the cooldown? Yes, he does. There's the Void Prison. Hits 3. And is there setup? Yeah, the arrow comes in, but I'm not sure if it's enough. They kill Jaina. Oh, Tyrande and Anubarak. They get burned to a crisp as the Lord of Terror is getting terrifying. Nice engage once again. And that's a double kill. That's a triple kill. Smaragd is just making it out of there. That was a clutch play. Actually, it's not even over yet because Backhold is terrifying. Nice. Great play by Diablo. Nicely done. Back hold coming in there from the side, just speculating that there's going to be a B back here, and just catches Sylvanas. 9 kills against 6 now, but that was incredibly well played by him. Great job there for sure. And that nets them another fort before the Punisher is even fought over. And obviously another talent. 1.5 levels ahead. Looks fantastic for them. So yeah, we're already having in the middle, and Nubrok trying to at least get some experience for them. But oh boy, that is not going well for them at all. Camps are taken on the map. And now that we're seeing them move into this one. This is again an Arcane Punisher. Arcane Punishers, they do a lot of hour. There. They can really hit, and they can hit hard. And you can't fight for this one. Well, you can fight for it, but you would find yourself at a talent disadvantage throughout the entire battle. Doesn't really spell out victory unless you get a quick kill somewhere else in the lane. Pick that up. At least, yeah, ETC is trying to escort this one in. But Leo is already rotating, so he's not going to be part of that 4-man push at the bottom. Allows Born to still jump in. Max Passion has to catch that. So the red team at least has to be a bit careful. You can't go too deep with this. Gotta be a little bit cautious. If you run into a problem, that problem could be ETC, and if the cow starts jumping in from the top, then you are in trouble for sure. A little bit of a rocket ride here for Maka. It's an interesting mount. I bought it as well for like 10,000 gold that it costs. It's not the money pick, but still, at least it's expensive. So that's something. Okay. Fade over. Wall about to fall. I don't really think you're gonna get an entire keep out of this. I mean, let's face it. This is pre 10 minutes. Not gonna get too much. Here comes the cocoon attempt. Are they gonna try and force that? Nah. Definitely was thinking about it. You can really tell. If they can force a fight here and ETC jumps in, that they might have a chance. The problem is if it gets burned down, then you burn a cooldown. You don't get anything out of it. So Max Passion starts the rotation. Talking rotation. ETC. Yeah. That Entomb wasn't even needed, but again, one of the better save than sorry plays. Still worth the cooldown here for sure. There's a lot of map control that you have for the duration. And it's nearly on the same time as the death timer. So Leo is going to have that back just in time. It was a good one right there. With that, we're seeing 10 kills against 6 now. 2-level lead. Pressure play at the top. An attempt to steal down the bottom right camp at least. But the 16 talents, that's the problem. And losing all the passive experience. All the forts are down. And there we have it. Hero experience in the lead, passive experience in the lead, and already the push for another keep wall. Both of those keep walls that they're starting to take, the bottom and the top, don't really matter too much because the problem that they have... Oh, nice. Look at that. Leo is actually stopping a couple of the B-backs to allow his team to break through the entire wall here. Marcus just going for the one grenade to save them all. So here comes the stun. Another stun. Marcus like, boys, can I please control my hero? Thank you. In comes Zeratul. Again, the attempt to force this. Leo is on his way, and there's the cocoon. Now they go for the cocoon. They go for Marke. The ring of fail as it doesn't hit anything. And Zarya is down. But we also have the double stun against Smaragd. Diablo is still there. Slake is also low, and Diablo is thinking about it. And there comes the lightning breath. Goes straight in, tries to get the drop there. Nicely done with the kill against Tirana, while we have Khaldor keeping everybody alive with the tranquility. Another wall stun coming in as Born is trying to escape. He's already low. They're going for ETC, and they're likely to catch him. Max Passion still on the other side of the map, trying to do a little bit more damage as ETC is on the right side, trying to escape here. Khaldor, the old man, is running after him, and the stage dive keeps him in play and nearly allows him to lock down Max Passion. Not quite happening, but damn son. 2 kills against 1 at the end of the day here. 7 against 11 kills in total. And on top of that, we're seeing that shrine activating next. This is the only one where the wall still stands. So another one. So pretty sweet there. Kill the walls, by the way. Kill the walls. It's vision. Deny the vision to your opponent. You don't have anybody in that lineup which really relies upon this thing. Oh, what a nice steal here too. No 16 on the other side. Death Knight is scouting this out. And yeah, they're gonna just lose it. We're gonna lose the camp there. We still have the chance to, of course, move up to the top right and take another one, but as the objective is about to spawn in 3 seconds, you want to take this as quickly as you can, especially while your opponent is dealing with the top lane. But that's gonna be the fight. That is going to be the fight right here. Slake is already starting to rotate in. 2 seconds until he has the Void Prison back. ETC will then have to jump in for it. Then yeah, there we go. 20 already taken, so you need to start and make that move. Another stat advantage. And who makes the engage? Who goes in for it? They can't just let this one go. It would be a little bit too much to give up here. Now there's the bubble. Zarya. Void Prison is being used. Okay, ETC with a dive goes in, and that's not enough. Nice barrier here as well on the side. And again, the lightning breath, the kill as Jaina drops an Uberak. They're going for Slake. The ring comes in, and that's the end of Zeratul, as we're seeing the lockdown from Galnaguna, who plays a fantastic Malfurion again. That's like the second game where he just absolutely nails it with that hero. Malfurion laying down the lawn here, making sure that nobody escapes. Born is also low, and that's gonna be a 5-man team wipe as ETC dies. The Punisher is taken in the mid lane. Maka is already riding to victory on his little rocket here. 16 kills against 7, a 3-level lead. They might not be able to decide the game just yet, but they are definitely in a commanding position. They will get a keep, and they are massively ahead right now. Soon to get level 20 with this one too. Damage output alone, 30,000 on Jaina. Diablo, of course, playing fantastic so far. Again, Slake is there. Here comes Diablo with a push. Unfortunately, pushing it out of Galnaguna's route, but the kill is still coming in, and that could even be game now. Look at that Punisher. 60% HP still available. They are making the moves. They're dropping the shield. ETC jumps in. I don't think it's going to be enough. 20 is in their hands. They can take the Storm Talents here, and they're just going for the core. Nearly getting another kill there. Well, there's Duranda. She's down. The core is down to 40% at this point. Once again, we're seeing the kill against Zeratul. No, we don't. Instead, we're actually seeing Anubarak drop Sylvanas too. Everybody's dying. Zeratul still not back, and that is game as Wind and Rain claims the victory in the series.